I got love for you, man. You know what I'm saying?
What are we talking about? You know, I'm not here to start any trouble.
I'm only going to say nice things about you from now on. I think you're handsome, and I think you're a wonderful host.
I'm fat and I'm overweight. Just don't say anything silly.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take it serious.
You know, I don't want y'all to take anything out of context that I'm saying.
He's very funny. He likes to joke around a lot.
As a personality and as an entertainer, yes.
This is going to be really quick. I'm not taking any questions.
Go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to talk for a little bit.
You're listening to Cabbie Presents, the podcast.
Welcome back to the Cabbie Presents podcast. Happy New Year. Happy 2015. Hope you're sticking to the resolutions you've made, whatever they may be. There was one of my friends has already broken his resolution as he tweeted out some McDonald's on January 1st. But this guy's metabolism is like Wolverine, so that guy could probably eat, just like Morgan Spurlock, could probably eat McDonald's for 30 straight days and then just shut it off. Like it would not affect him whatsoever. But hope for your my New Year's resolution is less selfies and more selflessness. So you won't see my fat face as much as you did in 2014. Sorry for the delay in pumping out these podcasts. Had a wild summer and a great fall on the TV side, working on SportsCenter, putting stuff on Cabbie Presents, and putting a few things on Bar Down as well. But over the past, and we've shot some fantasy football commercials, which were a lot of fun. Kate Burness was the champion, and she's been dethroned by your humble host. I'm Cabbie Richards. And like embarrassingly, my stupid fat face was on the side of an 18-wheel truck. Actually, the truck had 26 wheels. So if you saw that somewhere on Highway 401 in the greater Toronto area, I apologize, but it was out there. And I think it's going to be there for a little bit. So I got very lucky in the time that you haven't heard my voice to shoot some football interviews. In the beginning of the season, I interviewed Russell Wilson. It was actually in Vancouver. They were there for like a NFL Canada event, and he was awesome. Such a good dude. My dad was there. It was the first time my dad saw me interview an athlete, and I didn't see him shaking his head in embarrassment, so that was good. And then he met Russell, and Russell was very generous with his time. Did that, and then later in the season, I interviewed Earl Thomas, also of the Seattle Seahawks, and actually went to Seattle, and I gave him a drone. I was like, Earl, you're 25 years old. All the new billionaires are your age. They're the millennials. The guy that sold WhatsApp for like $20 billion. I don't know if he's quite 25, but he's a young dude. The guys that invented Snapchat. Thank you, but not really thank you. Like the technology of Snapchat is awesome, but girls really suck at it. And I'm actually going to have a conversation with one of the guys that are in this podcast about Snapchat. Because I don't want to see your dog, and I definitely don't want to see your cat. Like, I'm not, dudes, we don't want to see that stuff in a Snapchat. Okay, we don't want to see your pets. We want to see selfies. We want to see maybe some food, maybe, but we just want to see you, girls. We don't want to see your drunk friends. We don't want to see karaoke. You know, we don't want to see your guy friends either. Anyway, that's a little side note. I also went to Houston to interview J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt, huge personality, huge fan of Canada, huge fan of hockey, and a huge talent in the NFL. He was great. It took me a little bit of time to convert him, to like get him to that point where he could let his guard down and act silly, but he did. It took about 90 seconds, and he was like, man, I got to feed off your energy. Like, I got to start talking the way you talk, because I have this certain staccato and this cadence, which is annoying when I interview athletes. So he became a fan, and he was also very generous. So I gave him this J.J. Watt survival kit, which he can give to quarterbacks or running backs, because he brutalizes them, you know, with the 20 and a half sacks, first player to have back-to-back 20 sack seasons. I'm not sure how many tackles for a loss he had, but the guy's just a monster, and he was very, very fun. So hopefully there'll be more J.J. Watt interviews in the future. And finally, I went to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I saw number 12. And when I walked into the Green Bay Packers locker room, which is probably the size of a basketball court. It's huge. Aaron Rodgers was sitting at his locker and speaking to, I believe, a print reporter. He just had like a little tape recorder in his hand. And I saw him from across the room. And when we locked eyes, well, not locked eyes, when we made eye contact, Rodgers started to pump his fist. Like it was, like he was at, not like DJ Pauly D. Sorry about the 2010 reference there from the Jersey Shore. But he pumped his fists in joy. And I responded with a salute. And then we had a good 15-minute interview, which that is going to be on SportsCenter this Friday. And you can find it on YouTube, and you can find it on bardown.com, which all my interviews and some of my silly pictures on Instagram and whatnot, they end up on bardown.com as well. So that one's coming, and I'm pretty excited. Also in this time that I haven't been recording podcasts, did an interview with Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett. That's coming out in a couple of weeks. And did a nice interview with Connor McDavid. Shout out to Team Canada, the World Juniors, for winning gold. That was a tremendous game. Big time heart for fighting off that surge that the Russians made in the second period, coming back from 5-1 to make it 5-4. Very entertaining game, and I'm happy about it. Okay, this is podcast number 100. So for number 100, I have two guests for you. One dude that plays in Montreal. Oh, you guys can see in the description on the. It's not like this is a secret, so you can see that we have one guest who plays in Montreal and another dude that plays in Nashville. And my guy from Montreal is on the phone right now.
If it's going to be an interview, I'm going to conduct it. So I'll answer my own questions, ask myself the questions, then give y'all the answers.
The only time I met this man in person was in September of 2014. We're at the Bell Media headquarters in downtown Toronto, and he was in town on behalf of NHL 15 from EA Sports. I think he was doing some motion capture in the funny black onesies with the white ping pong ball sensors. He was among the first to test drive the new NHL 15 before the public, and he played Morgan Rielly of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And as it's true to life, his Montreal Canadiens beat Morgan Rielly's Toronto Maple Leafs. This man owns one of the deepest voices in hockey and is one of the few players to admit to having worn the Jim Harbaugh khaki pants in his past. I'm pleased to welcome Max Pacioretty of the Montreal Canadiens. Hello, sir, and welcome.
And pretty good memory there. All this information like that.
Oh, man, you're kind of, the signal's a little, are you, where are you right now?
I'm in my car driving. You hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I got you. So wait, the khaki pants. I read somewhere that you used to rock khaki pants.
Yeah, growing up in Connecticut, as we talked about, I didn't own my first pair of jeans till I went to juniors. And actually, a funny story about that is I showed up to school out in Sioux City, Iowa, and I wore khakis to school, and someone asked me if I had a court date. And they were
That's amazing. In Iowa, they're asking you that, like, hey, man, only the bad kids, only the bad mother bleepers rock khakis. That's funny. So wait,
Exactly, yeah.
You didn't have a pair of Levi's or whatever until you're like 14 or 15 years old?
No, I would wear khakis or cords, man. That's how we dressed out here.
Wow, dude. You were like, did you go to, see, that just tells me that you're rich. That just tells me, like, you didn't even say jogging pants. Those, like, $4 jogging pants that you can get at Target or Target, as we like to say. You didn't even wear, you didn't even rock those.
No, you can find cheap khakis anywhere. Like Jim Harbaugh, like you said, wears some cheap khakis. I was in the same boat.
Hey, so, dude, Harbaugh to Michigan. Are you excited? What are your thoughts about that?
I'm really fired up about that.
Are you?
Yeah, man. It's been a tough couple of years to be a fan. My sister just graduated last year, and I'm still a huge Michigan fan, and I think he's going to do big things there. That's how he does it. He turns teams around, and I think he's going to do it. And
you know what? I guess being, like, when you're the head coach of a football program, you're the man on campus. And, from what I've heard in San Francisco is he never got along with the GM, and he wasn't really that liked in San Francisco, and they just wanted to make a culture change. Even though he has this great resume, It's just like, he's one of those dudes that he clashes with people. So now in Michigan, he can just have a run of Ann Arbor and do whatever.
Yeah.
So that excites you.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It's, a new time for Michigan football. I'm excited. It's expecting big things, man.
Hey, so Max, your sister just graduated from Michigan. What did she study?
She was a French major, actually, and she's into fashion. So, yep.
So wait, is she coming to sleep on your couch now? Because, I mean, you're in Montreal. Like, there's no better place to speak French or practice the language and live the culture than in Montreal.
Yeah, she, she definitely likes coming up and visiting, but she works in fashion in New York City now, and she comes up when she can. Yeah, she comes up to visit when she can and speak the language, and it's cool.
She's probably killing it. I mean, New York, obviously, with the fashion, that is totally the right place to be, with all those huge fashion houses coming out of France, and then obviously Paris Fashion Week is huge. Man, I'd say, is she cute?
Yeah, she looks a lot like me. So
wait a second, no. See, now you just killed it for me, man. You did that intentionally. You friggin' jerk! Wait, didn't you marry? You married somebody. You married Max Finneganov's sister, right?
Yeah.
Wait, isn't there a rule? Isn't there a rule about that? Like, there's an unwritten rule about that, isn't there?
No, I didn't know him at the time. It was,
okay.
I met him before, or I met her. Sorry, before I met him. So that's the one. I guess that's the one way around the rule.
Oh yeah. That's a nice loophole you did there. So what are your plans for the Super Bowl? We were talking about Harbaugh, who was in the Super Bowl. He was in a couple of years ago facing the Baltimore Ravens. But this year, you guys play on February the 1st. You guys play Arizona, 1 o'clock game, and the game's at 6:30. So what are your plans for it?
We always get together as a team, and last year we went to one of our favorite restaurants, and I don't think we've decided where it's going to be yet, but it's always a fun time to get together as a team and, make some small side bets. And,
some friendly wagers?
Yeah, that's it's normally the typical, Super Bowl routine for our team.
So is it, will you be at like a restaurant again or somebody who makes that decision? Who's the guy that's like, all right, we're gonna have our party at this place, at Gal de Manger, or actually no, there's no TVs in there. No. I don't even, where did you guys have it last year? Or wait.
We went to,
go ahead.
We went to Emburger.
Oh, nice. Yeah, PK loves that spot.
Yeah. No, if someone's going to make the call, I think it's normally going to be Brandon Prust, who normally he's the ringleader for that stuff, but he always makes good choices, so it's okay. I
do want to bring up Prusty later because I have a question to ask you about the fashion police. The Montreal Canadiens, the Fashion Council, which it seems like it's a council of one, but we'll get to Prusty in a second. I want to say congratulations on being not a brand new dad, but you're still newish. You still have like the new car smell on you. And Enzo is your little man's name, yeah? Lorenzo?
Yeah, Lorenzo.
You call him Enzo or Lorenzo?
I call him Enzo.
Enzo? Dude, you guys picked the baddest name for that dude. Like, there's no way he's not just going to be a lady killer.
Yeah, it was risky at the time, but I'm like, I don't know. I got a good feeling about it, and I feel like it already fits him.
Dude, there's like, there are no, in the history of like humanity, there's never been a fat Lorenzo. There's never been a nerdy Lorenzo. There's only been cool Lorenzos. Are you prepared for him to just, at like 16 years old, just have like lady friends in the house, in the basement, like, Dad, we're just gonna go downstairs in the basement? Sure you are.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it now, but he's on a good path to having success like that with the ladies. And it's only been a year, but I'm excited for what his future brings.
What's the fatherly trait that you've probably picked up from your dad that you don't know that you are going to apply in like 15 years?
Oh, man, that's putting me on the spot. I don't know. I think calmness. I'm going to let him make his own decisions, and, if it's a bad one, he has to pay the consequences, and, obviously learn by experience. I think that's what my dad did with me, and hopefully I can continue, I guess, that legacy.
In my household, my mom was a disciplinarian. I would get beat like 10 times for every one time my dad would lose his temper. But when he did, man, like the roof would blow off. Like I feared my pops. Was your pops one of those? Like he's very quiet, but like when he gets upset, like it's time to either hide or just run to the next town.
I'm still scared of my dad.
Yeah, dude.
I'm definitely going to try and carry that out, but I just don't see, with Enzo being so young, I just can't see myself ever getting mad at him. But I know, as the years go on, it's definitely going to, be easier and easier to make him scared of me, I guess, and, hope that doesn't happen too many times.
Right. But it's like when they turn 13, it's like when we're 13 to like 16, we're just not even, man, I was a knucklehead till I was like 19, just doing the dumbest things. I remember one time we were driving around my friend Chico's car and we were throwing firecrackers at people, like lighting firecrackers at like cyclists, like just total jerks. And then we're so dumb that, we didn't expect the cyclist to just remember the license plate of the car that just drove past him. So that if obviously, someone's dad got the phone call and all of us had to meet at Chico's house and we got lectured by his dad for a good 90 minutes. And
and I grew up the same way, man. I was always, trying to hide this, trying to hide that, and it always ended up, my dad finding out and getting pretty upset with me.
If Prusty is I'll just get to Brendan right now. If Preston is the leader of the fashion council, are there any other members on the council, or is it just Brendan Prust that lords over the team?
Well, you know what? Our team's getting really fashionable, and I really like it because kind of bounce risky ideas out of there. And,
really?
We can kind of gang up on one guy if he wears something really bad. And, I like P.A. Got some good fashion. Davey's the French guy's got some good fashion. Everyone, PK's got, obviously the good suits, but, everyone's pitching in fashion-wise, and I think it makes a good committee for our team.
So does everybody have, like, tie clips, or they have, like little buttons for the lapels now on the suit, on the blazers?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, guys are more getting into some other accessories, and I've seen a couple tie clips here and there. I haven't seen the button on the lapel. That might be an idea for one of the next suits, but we're all trying to get the perfect taper on the suits. And
okay.
Actually, watches is a big thing on the team right now, and guys I think are starting to open up their wallets and get some watches finally, which is nice to see. And we judge people on that as well.
You guys are probably like, how like women, when you're walking with your lady and your lady just sees another woman approaching her, like they scan their bodies like it's a friggin', like it's the checkout laser, the checkout gun at the counter, and they could just identify every piece of like the brand of the clothing and every piece of, is it approaching that area for you guys where you're like, oh, those are some Johnston and Murphy shoes, or that suits from this place. Oh, is that a product cap? Like, are you guys approaching that area?
Yeah, we're well into that area. Like,
really?
We got back from Florida, and down there, everyone, that's when it's okay to take risks. And I was wearing my blue loafers without socks the whole time.
Nice.
The guys were just giving it to me, but I got like, in front of the guys, I got maybe 15 compliments from random people, and it just, I guess that was my revenge to them chirping me for the shoes.
Validated right there. That's a good That's a solid fashion choice. How colorful do you get though in your shirts or your suits, Max? Like, do you keep it kind of like with the classics, like black suit, or maybe like a gray or a light gray, or how diverse is your color palette?
I'm very diverse.
Are you? Okay, I like it. I like that.
The only solid color I really wear is some type of blue or maybe a brown. But I don't wear any black or gray, really. I don't have much like that. But I'm starting to mix and match right now with, getting used to different colors and how they go together. And, still learning, and that's what Instagram's good for, so I can learn some fashion techniques on that.
Dude, Instagram is great for that, mostly for creeping on chicks, which I do, but Instagram is great for, I'm on the GQ account, the Esquire account, and there's a dude, oh man, I can't remember his name, like EJ Sampson or something like that. He's got some, he's actually be the former fashion editor for GQ magazine. He puts together a good combination. I'm just going to throw a couple other Instagram accounts out there for you. Swedish Killer, you just look at that at your own time. Kira Santoro, KYR Santoro XO or XX. Wow. My thing is now, because my girl's on Instagram and she doesn't listen to this podcast, but I follow photographers, okay? Photographer, dude, and they always put the model's name in the description. Who's the guy that's the most obsessed with either his phone or on Instagram on your team?
Well, I just got back from lunch with Gallagher, Tokarski, Beaulieu, and Davey, and I don't think anyone put down their phone for the entire meal, but once we addressed it, they all agreed that Galchenyuk's by far the worst for this fall, and it was a unanimous decision.
Wow, he just, everybody put him on blast. He only looks up from his phone to maybe not even cross the street. Just just glances and then just back to his phone.
You know what? You're in Toronto, and the worst I've seen actually is JVR, the worst I've seen on this ball.
JV, yeah, he's not bad. Kadri, Naz, I've hung out with Naz a couple of times. He lives on his phone. And I actually get snaps. I get snaps from Naz, and it's usually just in the training room or whatever. He sends some pretty funny ones sometimes. But here's a question for you. I don't know if you have a good answer for this, but why do girls suck at Snapchat, dude?
I don't even know how Snapchat works. I don't have that. Yeah, man.
You're married. You just ask your boys, Galchenyuk, Gallagher, ask those dudes, why do girls suck at Snapchat? Because I'll tell you what happens, Max, and you can live vicariously through me for the next 12 seconds. I will wake up in the morning or late at night when I'm just creeping on the Book of Faces or Instagram. I'll look on my Snapchat feed. All I get are girls with their pets, or it's just the friggin' the puppy or the cat. Cats are the worst. It's it's some girl's drunk guy friend dancing, or it's the occasional they're at some nightclub, so it's just heavy thundering dance music, lights that will cause a seizure, and then it's 50 seconds of that, and that's all I get from Snapchat. It's it's an original intention. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to get some sultry photos, I guess, but I don't get those. So maybe I know the wrong girls and I don't know the right ones, but that's basically my Snapchat experience. So you're really not missing much, unless the other guys on your team, they're just getting some rockets.
Yeah, I'll try and confirm with the other guys, but I don't know how Snapchat works, and it doesn't sound too interesting the way you're describing it, so I'll just stick with Instagram, I guess. Man,
Max, it's so disappointing. It's full of promise and potential, and it's just. One more question about the fashion tip. When we first met, you mentioned that Lars Eller was a dude that used to get ripped pretty hard on your team about his hair, mostly about his hair, because he just didn't know what to do with it. Is he still the focus of your guys' attention in that regard?
He's, a couple of guys have picked up on that trend, and I got to admit, he was one of the first people to start that trend that I've seen, with the short on the sides and the long on top. But I can't get myself to do it, and you know what? It's definitely a Euro thing, I think, and he does it well, but it's sometimes just a little bit too aggressive, I think.
I feel like whatever David Beckham does is it's the style for that year or for 2 years. That dude has so much influence, and dudes don't want to be this is the David Beckham haircut. So many girls are oh yeah, this is the Jennifer Aniston 20 years ago whenever Friends was on TV. But I feel that's either Beckham or Brad Pitt. One of those dudes popularized that cut, and it's very popular. You should try it maybe once just to see how it feels on you, and to get wifey to she would have to give her blessing, I guess.
Yeah, I'd have to go with her, but it's funny you mentioned it because whenever guys chirp him, he said he compares himself to Brad Pitt. And,
Does he actually?
every single time I've heard that, come up at least 10, 15 times, so that was a good call on that one.
Speaking of wifey, have you seen Gone Girl with wifey?
Yeah. No, I just watched it on the road in Carolina. It's an amazing movie.
Dude, you cannot see that with the wife. Like,
No.
Did that movie change your perception of marriage or perception of relationships, like putting, hey, this is like the cool, funny, best version of me, and then 1 year later, no, this is the real me, stomach out, eating chips, watching football on Sunday. Did it change your perception at all about relationships?
I'm not sure. I think, my wife being pregnant and then losing her weight so quick, she'll always care about, how she, I guess, presents herself to me, but she knows what, she knows what she got herself into when it comes to me retiring. I'm going to be, a bit of a different person, probably not take care of myself too well.
Does that mean you're going to get fat, Max? Is that what that means?
Yeah,
that daddy belly and those khaki, you go back to your khaki pants phase?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to that. Maybe a couple sweaters to hide the gut and, play some golf, sit on the couch, not too much. But she knows I'm going to change, but I'm expecting, I guess, the same personality and everything for her when, as our life goes on. I'm not expecting too much change.
Dude, the how scary though was Rosamund Pike's character, like in Gone Girl? Because I feel like every dude has had like one crazy girl story, or something borderline, like a girl showing up to your place uninvited, or hey, I was just in the neighborhood, or how come you haven't called me? Like one of those. I got one of those once where she just showed up, but like, I don't know if you've ever heard or experienced anything on that level, but have you had like a crazy ex-girlfriend in the past? And how crazy did she get?
No, the best part about being in this business is people get so attached to people, and we hear stories all the time of a girl showed up, or a girl won't stop texting me, or a girl won't stop calling me. It's it's always fun to be on the outside looking in. I'm just happy. I've never had to deal with anything like that, but
not even at Michigan, dude. Like, would you had some like?
I've always been the same person. I think for quite some time, but it's.
I don't know what that means. That was a good deflection. That's like someone will let you get off the hook on that one, but that doesn't. What does that mean? We're not talking about you being the same person. We're talking about the girls, my man.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm not trying to put myself in that situation. I think some of these. Maybe Gallagher, Galchenyuk, they have some good stories on a Monday morning. They have some stories down that road, but no, man, I've never been down that road. And like I said, I'm always the passenger on the outside looking in.
Nice.
I'm happy to hear those stories though when they do come out.
I'm sure there are some great ones. Like, and I'm not even sure what city has like the highest number of them, or which guy ends up like it's like one friend always has like some crazy thing. There's always one guy in the group that has some crazy thing happen to him more often than the other dudes. I wish there was I could be a fly on the wall, just hear those two, because really, for dudes, being able to tell stories is like almost the most valuable currency. Like, forget what you make and all, but just being dudes at your core, you just want to be a good dude and just tell some stories, right?
Yeah, it's people save them for the right time too. When we're on a bus trip or a long plane ride, that's when I think most of the stories start to come out, and maybe some get a little bit fabricated here and there, but it's all part of the story.
Max, it's been wonderful talking to you.
Yeah, thanks.
And I look forward to either having an afternoon or a night at M Burger, or whenever you're in TO, just breaking breads, because I want to hear some of those stories about those fun stories that dudes like to exchange when they're just amongst the boys, and good times are had. So I look forward to that, man.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Hey, are you on? And so you're on Instagram. Is it like public, or you have like a private one? Like, a private account?
I use my wife's, and I.
Okay. Forget that then. Forget that. We don't need like 7,000 more followers just hitting up wifey. But are you on Twitter at least?
No, I just use my wife's private Instagram to look at Instagram stuff. That's all I got, man. I'm social media. I'm just not great with technology.
Listen, just spend an afternoon with PK Subban, okay? That's your or Prusty. Prusty's also you have the teammates that have the tools. Just plug in.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
That's more work and more time. I don't know if I got that.
Well, we don't want to take away too much from your hockey because you are great at that. But if you have some downtime like you do, plug in, my friend.
All right, I'll try and get plugged in.
Hey, well, it's absolutely my pleasure having you on, man, and it's great to talk to you. Good luck the rest of the way, sir.
Great, thanks a lot.
Max is 26. You can't be a millennial and not be at the forefront of understanding popular technology. I let him off the hook there. I should have pushed him further to see why he doesn't embrace social media. Maybe when I meet him again for a meal of food, I can pry the answers out of him. Okay, this is unrelated. I don't trust anyone that doesn't eat pizza or popcorn. And I met someone recently that doesn't eat pizza or popcorn. Very skeptical. Next up, we're bouncing to a growing hotbed in hockey. He recently joined the Nashville Predators and joins me on the phone right now.
If it's going to be an interview, I'm going to conduct it. So I'll answer my own questions, ask myself the questions, then give y'all the answers.
The first time I met this man, I was in Dallas covering the 2008 NHL playoffs, or it was the next year when I was in Dallas working on a thing for the Toronto Raptors, but I also shot a hockey segment. A young James Neal told me about his life living with Trevor Daley, and I was insanely jealous. Dallas was a good team, but he played in a city with the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Texas Rangers. The Stars could lay low, but his production did not. We would see each other at various BioSteel camps. It was a training camp here in Toronto in August, run by Matt Nickel, and I would ask a series of ridiculous questions to the guys. Even though he's a 40-goal scorer, a big-time talent, and a fellow Greater Toronto area guy, a TO stand-up, I really want to know about his sick Ferrari. James Neal, welcome to the Cabbie Presents podcast.
Thanks, Cabbie.
And Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Where in the world are you, and how did you ring in the new year?
Well, I'm in Nashville now, so I got traded obviously in the off season and enjoying a new place, a new town, a new city, and I brought in the new year here in Nashville. So it's been an unbelievable change. Things happen fast, but it's been a lot of fun, and I'm in another great city. Did you
do the house party route, or did you go like restaurant with some friends, or did you light it up?
Yeah, no, I had my parents in town, my girlfriend's in town, and we all went downtown Nashville onto Broadway. So streets were shut down. It was pretty crazy.
What's the the streets were shut down, so everybody was in the streets or like floating in and out of bars, kind of thing?
Yeah, floating in and out of bars. So have you ever been to Broadway?
No, dude, I've never been to Nashville, but your house sounds spacious, so I'm assuming that there's one random couch that I could lay my head on.
Yeah, it's a process when you're moving your stuff. So I got couches coming in here today actually, and I've been trying to fill my house out as the season goes along. But New Year's was fun, and fireworks were going off on Broadway, and people were in and out of bars like crazy. So it was a good time.
So two things: you're saying there is space for me to sleep there?
There might be a couch in a spare room that you could lay your head down.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I don't know if you'd get much sleep though. Knowing you and coming to a new city, I don't know how much you'd use a couch, but
that's a valid point. That is a valid point. I don't know if I would sleep or would I might just pass out.
Yeah, quick pass out.
Yeah. And the second one is so we Broadway and the fireworks. Oh, I forgot my second question. I'm an idiot. How are you gonna celebrate the Super Bowl? Like, what are you gonna do for the Super Bowl?
Well, we got a little pool going with the guys right now. So I have the Dallas Cowboys and I got the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm hoping for a couple big wins out of them going forward here, and then I'll I'll focus on what I'm going to do for the Super Bowl. But I got to get my teams in the Super Bowl first.
Wait, so what kind of pool? You pick the teams in the pool?
Yeah. You get 2 teams, and everybody bids on their team, and we go back and forth. And it's myself and Ribeiro on a team. So we picked up Dallas and Indy. So we had 2 big wins over the last few days. So we need a couple big ones on Saturday.
So wait, how many guys are in this pool, and what is the entry fee for this pool?
It's the whole team, and there's no entry fee. Everyone bids on the team they want, so it gets going pretty competitive back and forth on teams, and whoever picks the right team and they win the Super Bowl, then it's you get all the cash.
I don't know, but you just said there's no entry fee, but there's a pot with some cash.
Well, there's no entry fee, but you got to bet. You got to pick your team, and whatever you get your team for when you're bidding back and forth with your teammates, and that's money that you got to put in.
Okay. So I'm assuming like the Arizona Cardinals or, Arizona.
Right. They're not going for too much money.
Yeah. Somebody picked them up for like $3.
Right. So you can get them, and then hopefully they take you to the promised land. But that's obviously not happening.
Right. So wait, how much? What team went for the most?
The Seahawks.
How much did that go for?
That's a secret.
What do you mean? Why is that a secret?
And Pekka. So the big guys got together and teamed up and took control of the room.
James, it's just you and I talking. What do you mean it's a secret? This isn't for public consumption. This is just. I
can't be giving out the cash numbers. I know.
So Dallas. So you need a huge win in Green Bay.
In Green Bay,
that's
what? Dallas was struggling at home, but they pulled one off the other night. So they've been great on the road all year. So hopefully they can pull one off.
The Cowboys are 8-0 on the road, but the Packers are 8-0 at home. And you just went with Dallas Cowboys because you played there and you know some of the guys and you have an affinity for that team.
Yeah, I still got a little tie there. I like them, but they've just been struggling. They've been killing me every time I've gone with them, but I stuck with them. I haven't gone somewhere else. So
James,
I'm staying with them.
You're betting with your heart, not your head.
I guess so.
Okay, this is the most serious question I'm going to ask you. Where is your Ferrari?
My Ferrari is in the garage right now.
Where?
Nashville.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it warm enough to take out?
It's not. It actually snowed today.
What? It's that cold there in Tennessee?
Yeah, it's cold, really cold right now.
Wow.
It usually doesn't. I don't think it usually gets this cold. Obviously, my first winter here, but it only snowed for 10 minutes and then it stops. But there's no snow on the ground or anything. But it did snow today, so I haven't driven it for a couple weeks. But I drive it. I drive it regularly. I drive it in the summers I have it in Toronto. I drive it every day to the gym. drive it to practice every day. So I get good use out of it. I love it.
No, dude, how do you? Okay, I know that we've had this conversation before, but the listeners have never heard it. But how do you go about purchasing or financing a Ferrari? Like, do you have to go in there and if the person is unaware of, because you're an unassuming guy, you're not a flashy guy, although you have tattoos or whatever, but you're a good looking, 20, 25, 27? How old are you?
27, yeah.
Okay, so you roll into a dealership or whatever. So, do you have to bring in a pay stub, or do you say to the guy, yeah, just Google me and I can afford this?
No, well, Letang, when I played in Pittsburgh, I got it when I played in Pittsburgh, so Letang had one. And then he had it for over a year, so he could invite a family member or a friend to purchase one, and he asked me if I wanted one, and I said I'd love one. And from that day right there, I talked to the Ferrari guy on the phone and did all the details and made the car. So went through all the specs and everything, and within 5 months I had a Ferrari. So it was pretty cool how you get to make your own car, and getting a Ferrari is awesome, and it's been been fun to drive ever since.
Wait, James, it's that customizable. So you're like online and you're adding, you're basically building it with all the variable parts.
Like when you go online and you want to like mess around and build a car, you build that car and that's what you're getting.
That is great. So then, okay, so you didn't physically meet the guy at the dealership or the Ferrari head office? You just spoke with him on the phone?
No, I didn't. I just talked to him, and then when my car was finished, he flew in with the car and took me through everything. So that's when I met him when I first got my car.
Wait a second. You had to fly to your car?
No, they fly it to you.
Oh, they fly. Oh, okay. So did you pick it up in Pittsburgh or did they fly to Toronto?
No, they flew it to Pittsburgh, and then I got it shipped. I got it shipped home from Pittsburgh, but I only got it shipped home that one time. Other than that, I've driven it back and forth.
So you drove it to Nashville?
No, I didn't drive it to Nashville. I shipped it to Nashville, but back and forth to Pittsburgh, I would drive it.
All right, and that's what, 5 hours from Toronto, I think?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a fun drive.
How many other people have driven your Ferrari? How many other people have you trusted to drive, even to like, hey man, I just want to go to the Circle K and fill it up with some gas?
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen. No.
So has any even your best friend?
My dad drove it. He didn't even want to drive it, but I told him he had to, so he drove it. We took it for a spin, but other than that, no one's touched it.
That's sick.
No one really wants to drive it though. Everyone's too scared anyway, so it works so fine.
Oh, dude, when I come to Nashville, I will 100% drive it. Well, I will ask to drive it. And
yeah, you can ask. Okay, I'll think about that.
Hey, what's up with mumps in your friggin' sport, man?
Oh my gosh, I do not know.
Dude, do guys not wash their hands, or is everybody mouth kissing?
Well, dude, you know how close we are at all times? Like,
what do you mean, James? What do you mean?
We fly on a plane together. We're beside each other. We're in close contact. We drink out of the same water bottles. We shower together. We do everything together. Like, it sucks that it's going around, but you can see why with how easy things can get around like that.
Has anybody on your team gotten it?
No, we've been good. We've been clean. No one's had it on our team.
You guys just
we wash our hands here in Nashville.
Everybody's walking around in rain suits and friggin' those yellow rain suits. When that kind of broke out, and then it was just like not bouncing from team to team, but guys got it on various teams. I was like, what the, like, I don't understand how different, like if it's centralized to one team, like if one person is Agent Zero, or what was that one movie with the Outbreak? There's Patient Zero, whatever it is. If there's one person that's Patient Zero, I don't know how it spreads to other teams unless guys in scrums are just breathing hot fire on each other, and then that's how it's transmitted. Or friggin'
guys are spitting on each other. I don't know what's going on in scrums these days.
Yeah, seriously, or face washing, wiping their mouth and just face washing other dudes, and that's how they're transmitting it.
Exactly.
So you've been able to avoid it, thankfully.
Thankfully, yes, I have.
I was doing a bit today with so I'm in Toronto and the Capitals are in town. I was doing a bit on injuries that's going to show up on Bar Down. We're just starting this segment where guys kind of playfully recall some of the injuries that they've gotten. Have you gotten any? Have you been scarred or had any broken or torn body parts, tendons?
I tore the cartilage in my rib last year. Right in the first game of last year, so
that's right.
I was out for like 25 games, and that was not fun because you can't really do anything. It hurts to cough, breathe, anything you do, any movement it hurts. So that was a bad one.
James,
that was no fun.
Did you grow a pot belly as a result, like a baby pot belly, like Pedro? Remember Pedro Martinez? He had the Hall of Fame, the now Hall of Famer, pitched for the Expos and the Red Sox.
Yeah.
He had that little baby belly.
I didn't get a belly, thankfully. I guess I can thank my parents for that. I got like decent genes. I got a decent metabolism. I don't gain weight, so hopefully that happens when I retire and I can still keep the weight off. But we'll see.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so you've had a torn what in your rib? Torn muscle in your rib?
Yeah, I tore some cartilage and muscle.
What about your teeth? You have all your teeth.
Oh, my teeth. Montreal, I lost 12 teeth. I got a stick in the face, and I lost like pretty much the whole top row and the whole bottom row.
come on. How long ago?
Yeah, it was bad. So I didn't. I've had a lot of surgeries on my mouth and my teeth since then, and I don't have very many teeth that are mine.
James, did you ever see the bill for those series of operations?
I don't, thank God, because I'd be trading in the Ferrari if I did.
Probably, yeah. But you guys have great health coverage. Okay, so the teeth and the rib. What's the worst one that you heard of? Like either a teammate or a guy in the league, like one of the, there's obviously freak accidents happen, a skate goes somewhere, or a guy falls a certain way, or whatever. But
I think the worst one was a couple of years ago when Sid got the puck right in the face. It went off the guy's shin pad, and he had no clue, and it hit him right square in the face, and took out all his teeth, hurt his jaw. He did some damage there, and it was nasty to see. Because you could see the puck hitting him in the face, his teeth flying out. Like that was probably the worst one I've seen, like in person.
Yeah, that's a tough one because it's so scary. Actually, I was Brooks Like was one of the guys. He plays for the Capitals that was doing this bit, and he said he's been hit in the face multiple times. Like he broke his orbital bone, and I'm like, I don't know how you guys have the courage to go back on the ice. After you wear a visor, right?
Yeah, I wear a visor, yeah.
You wear a visor. So, yeah, he got his orbital bone broken. Have you, and he said multiple bones broken his shins or his legs because he's one of those guys that throws himself in front of pucks to block pucks. I think you're too pretty for that kind of work.
Well, I got a stick in the eye at World Championships my first year in the league, and it tore up my eyelid, and I had to have eye surgery. So that's probably the worst thing I've ever had. Yeah.
Oh my, you're like that's legit scary. That's
I was
scary.
wearing a visor as well. So
were you?
Came up, hit me right in the eyeball, and I couldn't see for a good solid week. So that was scary. Anytime it's your vision in your eyes, it's really scary.
The guy that knocked out your teeth. Have you It
was my own teammate. It was
no.
Jamie Ben. Yeah.
It was who? Jamie Ben?
Yeah, Benner he got spun around and his stick hit me right in the face.
Oh man, what did he buy you for Christmas that year?
I don't even know. I don't think he even knew.
Really?
He still doesn't know. I don't even know if I got a sorry.
You should at least get a meal. Like once you get new teeth, be like, hey man, I should at least get a meal out of this. Once I replace the top.
Maybe he can brush my teeth for me a few times.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I once had. That reminds me, I once had Batista on this podcast, and Batista was saying, I was like, yo, how did you guys used to prank each other in the room? And he said the minors were the worst because in the minors it was like lawless. And he said when the minors, nobody was making money. So when we won, Truth or Dare or card games, it was like some real gross stuff. And what he said, one of the grossest ones he saw was a guy lost one of the games, either a card game or a challenge, and he had to lick in between another dude's toes.
Oh, God.
It's like, that is both amazing to watch, but it'd be horrifying if you were the guy that had to do it, and also entirely disgusting. So you talking about the dude brush your teeth, it's clearly not on that level, but it made me think of that. Were the juniors, were the minors as lawless as that sort of thing when you guys would play either pranks or games?
Yeah, I think it was, I guess you're right, it's definitely dirtier in the minors, but I haven't had anything to that extent, licking toes or anything. What's the
worst one that you can tell? What's the most G-rated?
Anything bad in junior?
What?
Or in the minors like that? No.
James, and you were like the outlier. Your team was the outlier because I've heard like the worst stories about junior, like stuff on the bus. I mean, just like mostly the bus, like when you're driving from friggin' Sault Ste. Marie to, Kingston.
Yeah. Well, I think probably like before me. I was coming in when hazing was kind of like, that was the big thing, right? So it was kind of quiet for us. We got kind of a pass because it was all over the news about hazing rookies and you can't do this.
So being phased out at the time that you were coming in?
Yeah, like when I was coming into junior and stuff, it was all about like the rookies get hazed, and that was the big thing. So like coaches were on it, where before guys had to do who knows what,
So I was having this conversation with a couple of my dudes, couple of my hockey dudes. One guy plays on the West Coast, one guy plays on the East Coast, and we're talking about growing your game. And the dude on the West Coast said, if our league had 6 or 10 more PK Subans, it would grow the game. Now, the dude on the East Coast said he's not a big fan of, he respects PK's talent, but not a big fan of his look at me kind of persona and like how comfortable he is in front of the camera. So he kind of disagreed with the guy on the West Coast. Where do you fall in that particular conversation?
I mean, if you're going to have 6 new PKs, and how many cameras are you going to have? How many new cameras are you going to have, right? So
you're going to have 18 or 24.
PKs, you're going to need 12 new Cabbies, and then we're really getting in trouble. So then I don't know if that's a good thing.
So, but seriously though, so like I know that in your culture, like the hockey culture, as a sport, you guys suppress your personalities. Like I've spoken to you, and you're like an affable guy. But like if you were the dude on your team that was the jokester in front of the camera, then you would probably get chirped by your teammates, right?
Oh yeah, you get chirped. Yeah, it comes and goes hard in our dressing room. You got to have tough skin when you're playing hockey, and I mean you've seen that. But for PK, I mean he's a great talent, and my brother actually played with him in junior in Belleville, so
nice.
I've seen lots of PK, but he's grown up over the years, and I'm sure he says that himself. Everyone does, and he's I respect him, and he's been unbelievable, for Montreal.
Nice, but not specifically PK, because I also brought up the example of Alex Ovechkin. I said if Alex Ovechkin was an American, then he could achieve. He would be doing Chevrolet commercials and Pepsi commercials and E-Trade and State Farm Insurance, all the stuff you see Chris Paul or Aaron Rodgers and I was saying like his popularity could be, he could probably be more the face of your game because Sid resists the spotlight, whereas Alex embraces it. But do you think you as a dude, James, that your sport could use more of those type of characters to grow, or do you think just by the excellence of the game and the evolution of the physical game what will help grow the sport?
Right. Well, I mean, I think that there's a fine line there too, where Ovi being Russian and he's he can do his thing and kind of get away with it, whereas at Sid, he's got so many people looking at him at all times. He can't be doing whatever you want to say it is, but so he's got to be smart. And you learn a lot from a guy like that, being able to play with him over the years, and see how mature he is, and see how much he loves the game and how hard he works every day is pretty special for that. But you can always, I think we got a lot of guys that are good with the media and good at growing our game. So I think it's on the upside and on the upslope, and guys are getting better. But at the same time, it's a fine line where you can get yourself in trouble pretty quick. And I'm sure you've seen that, and you push that envelope as far as you can push it every single time. So you're good at that.
But I'm not trying to get guys in trouble. My whole focus is to entertain the audience and to show the personality of the player like the audience never sees. That's what I try to do, and hopefully it comes across.
And you do a good job of that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. So you're sort of on the guy who plays on the East Coast. You have a similar sensibility, whereas you're like the game has made big strides, and you think that there are enough personalities and who are comfortable enough with the media to show the personality that the game is in a good enough shape.
I do, and I think with the more in the room access and around the team access, I think you'll see more guys' personalities as we go further here, because fans love that stuff and they like seeing what a guy is, off the ice or out of his gear, and I think you're seeing more and more of that because of how good the NHL 24/7 went. And now teams are doing their own thing, so I think you're seeing more and more of that.
So James, even if you played on a different team where, say you played on a team where there weren't that many personalities in front of the media, like great guys in the room, and say you were one of the guys with like the best personality, you would kind of resist letting us in a little bit more, or would you give us a little bit more? I suppose as far as you feel comfortable.
No, I think I'd give a little bit more. I mean, I haven't really played in a team where there's not very much personality. Every team I've played on is they've been unbelievable guys, and guys have hilarious personalities. So I don't think I've ever had to have that problem. But if there was, I think you'd step up and let guys into your life. I've done in Pittsburgh with the media, they love getting that access, and I've done NHL 30, and they came and
NHL 36.
Yeah, NHL 36.
Yeah,
and
that was
came
cool.
into my house for 36 hours, and they did that whole thing.
That was cool.
Yeah. So.
Wasn't it Letang? Was Letang rapping in a commercial, or not Letang? Or was it not Letang? Who was the other dude? Max Talbot. Wasn't it like a local car commercial that one of them was either rapping or singing?
I think I heard a little bit of rumblings about that, but I wasn't there yet, so I don't know.
It's on YouTube and it's glorious because it's so bad.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, and see those guys, I love those guys because that appeals to me, and I want to put out an entertaining bit.
Sure.
I will get you out of here on this. Another serious question: what is the number of emojis a man can send in a text message before losing man points?
3.
Either 3 smiley faces, 3 winks, 3 cheers.
No. I'll take that back. No, it's got to be 3 different emojis. It can't be 3 of the same emojis. I ain't gonna be texting you 3 wink faces. 3 smiley faces.
So it has to be 3 different. I have a Samsung, and I don't know how to do emojis. Maybe I'm just too old for emojis, but I totally. I know that dudes send women emojis. I know they don't send emojis to themselves generally, but they send, and that's okay because when you text a girl, it's kind of they're different rules for when you're. But 3. So anything after 3, you start to lose man points.
I think so. I'd go with 3.
You go with 3.
What's your number? What's your number here?
I would say probably like 1, I guess. Because if you overdo it, like if you're sending an emoji every single text or every 2 responses in one conversation, it just gets a bit much. Like how many friggin' times can you say LOL in a conversation and it's really not that funny? It's like you might be smirking, but you thought, are you an LOL guy or a ha 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 guy?
I'm a ha 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 guy.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think I'm laughing out loud too much.
If it's something's really funny, I'll add a ba ha 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 ha. Depending on how
I don't get the ba ha ha on there.
You just go ha ha ha.
Yeah. maybe a couple extra ha ha ha's, but I don't get the ba.
Well, hopefully to the people listening to this conversation, they will then adjust their emoji game. But if there's one caveat, if there's a father, like if there are any dads that are listening to this, you are exempt from the emoji rules because if you're texting your kids, then that's all bets are off. You can do whatever. But these are really for the dudes in relationships or the single dudes. James says 3, I say 1. So somewhere in between there. Anything more than that, then you're losing some serious man points.
Exactly.
James, well, you earn man points by the way that you play, and your resume is at a very high level, and I appreciate the candid conversation that we have, man, and thank you for your time, dude.
Yeah, thank you, Cabbie, and let me know when you're in Nashville. I'll get that coach ready for you.
Dude, I'm coming. Like I don't know when is there a Mardi Gras type of week in Nashville?
I don't know. I'm new to the city. I haven't got the whole memos. There's stuff going on here every weekend. It's
Can
crazy.
you find out for me, please? I want to know when either the Mardi Gras or the Calgary Stampede, the equivalent of one of those two, are in Nashville.
Well, we got the All-Star game next year, so I'm sure you'll be down here.
Oh, man, will I ever? I ever?
Thank you for listening to Cabbie Presents, the podcast.